So lesson number 2 is going to be about habit building and how you can build better habits. Now, the first thing I want to recommend or suggest is that you go on Amazon and you download a book or you order the book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I actually have this on downloaded to my phone, and I listen to it every now and again when I go out for a walk. I have it on Audible. So if anybody has Audible, you can get it on there as well. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Really, really great book, which is where these lessons come from. So I'm only going to skirt across them and touch on the 5 steps, the framework, and how you would go about building better habits. All right, but I highly, highly recommend that you go and buy the book or you download the audio and you listen to that, because it will really, really help you understand how to change your mindset and how to reframe some of the habits that you've got, and how you can start to make better progress with your training and nutrition and anything else in life that you need to progress with. So building better habits is what this short presentation is about, and what I want to touch on first is this quote. So long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. So when you think about starting any kind of training and nutrition program, there obviously needs to be an element of a burst or some kind of inspiration or motivation, something to get you kick-started, but that is only ever short-lived. So if you're only doing a short-term program, let's say 30 days, what happens after? What we need to do is create some new habits that are sustainable, that can be done long-term, that are easy, that you will be able to repeat, and that will become autonomous and autopilot, just like brushing your teeth in the morning, or putting the kettle on in the morning, or getting dressed in the morning. Everybody already has habits, which is probably exactly why you are where you are right now. But in order for you to make progress or to change direction, you probably need to implement or think about some of those habits, and are they serving you in the right way, and what else can you do to implement some new habits? All right, so I just want you to have a think about that. So long-term consistency beats short-term intensity, but we need some kind of short-term intensity. You need to put some effort in the beginning stages in order for you to make the progress that you want. It's going to take a little bit of effort in the beginning to get you up and running, but hopefully when you repeat it often enough, because it's easy enough, that it will become autopilot, just like brushing your teeth. All right, so a habit is basically just a behavior that we're trying to put on autopilot. For instance, you get up in the morning, you go into the bathroom and you brush your teeth. You see the toothbrush and then you brush your teeth. So there's 2 of the. Number 1 is it's easy enough. Number 2 is you see a trigger, and that the trigger is your toothbrush, and you know that you're going to brush your teeth. All right, so I'll give you another example. You go downstairs, you put the kettle on, you know that you're going to make a cup of coffee. So how can we build a new habit in there? So for instance, you might say, when I put the kettle on, I will commit to stretching for a couple of minutes until the kettle's boiled. That's how you can implement a new habit. So keeping it very simple, you're just reframing the trigger and the outcome and what it is that you're going to do, and it's not too difficult, it's easy, and you can do that frequently enough that it will become a new habit. All right, so let's move on. How do we go about designing a new habit? Number 1 there, it must be obvious. All right, so again, like I say, you know that it's something that you want to achieve. You know what needs to happen, but then you need to make it easy enough and frequently enough so that it gets embedded into your brain, into your mind, and so that it becomes autopilot. Almost like have you ever driven to work in the morning or in an evening when you're driving home, you almost daydream, and you can just drive your way home without necessarily even thinking about it. You can be listening to the radio, you could be listening to the football, you could be listening to I don't know, a podcast or something like that, and you will still find your way home because it's almost on autopilot, and you do it frequently enough that it becomes a habit. Number 3 is that it must be triggered. Again, like I say, you see your toothbrush, you brush your teeth. You put the kettle on, there's your trigger for you to do your stretches in the morning. You get home from work, you straight away grab your gym kit and you go out to the gym. Or you wake up in the morning and you grab your gym bag on the way out the door. That way that you know that you're prepared, ready to go to the gym later on, and it becomes a good habit. You're reframing these habits all of the time. Number 4 is it must be achievable. They've got to be. You don't want to be making any of these new habits too far out, too outstretched, because if you feel like it's not achievable, you're probably not going to do it, and you won't enjoy doing it and you will resent it. So these need to be little things that you can do day after day after day after day, and it will become a very simple process. Number 5, it must be completely 100% under your control. So something like you trying to say something along the lines of, I don't know, I'm going to... can't think of anything now off the top of my head, that you're going to try and get 8 to 10 hours sleep a night, or you're going to be asleep by a certain time. Now the thing is, that's not necessarily 100% in your control, because you might get in bed and then you might not necessarily be able to switch off straight away. What you can say is something along the lines of, I will go to bed and I will not read my phone for 30 minutes, or I'll switch my phone off 30 minutes before it's meant to be your bedtime. So it could be 10 o'clock or 10:30, and you decide, right, so I go to bed at 10 o'clock and I turn my phone off, or I don't look at my phone before I'm meant to go to sleep. So that is 100% under your control. Right, so I hope that makes sense. And then what we need to do is try and make ourselves a habit statement, such as, I am 90 to 100% certain that I will action when trigger in order to outcome. So you've got the action, you've got the new habit, and now you've got to implement. So you've got the trigger, that's when you're going to do it, and now you've got the outcome and the reasons why you're going to do this new habit and what the goal will help you achieve. Again, so using one of the examples from before, I'm 90 to 100% certain that I will stretch when I put the coffee machine on in order to improve my flexibility. So now that you've gone about designing and implementing a new habit, make your statement on something that is relevant to you, that you think or know that is going to help you make progress so that you can achieve the goals that you want. If you need any help with this, or you're not sure what habits to pick, speak to one of the coaches and we'll help you pick something that's going to give you a big return for your small investment, if you like. So we want to make it small, achievable, something that you're going to be able to do repeatedly, that's going to help you make massive progress. Okay, so again, just to finalize and to reiterate, I would definitely highly recommend that you go and download the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I personally have it on my phone and I listen to it on Audible when I go out walking in the morning. That's one of my habits. One of my daily habits is that I get up in the morning and then I go for a walk and I listen to podcasts, or I'll do my social media posts first thing in the morning. So that's one of my personal habits. So yeah, go get the book. either read it hard copy or download it and listen to it on your phone. You can listen to it in the car on your way to work, and that will really help you understand how to build some new habits and how these new habits are going to help you overcome the bad habits that you might have. And believe it or not, we all have bad habits. We also have good habits, but it's how can we reframe some of the bad habits so that we can make progress and smash our goals. All right, so I hope that one was helpful.